Alright, fuck it. I'm going live. So you can see two of me. Hold on, let me make sure the audio works. Yep, alright, cool. What's up, guys? Happy week or some shit? Fuck, hold on. Oh god, I'm mirroring the audio. Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay, cool. And I closed Mob Crush, so I can't see the comments. One sec. I don't know where the hell my team is this week either. Wait, that's not true. What's his name? Jacob has to do something with his kids this week. What the fuck is... Ew! Ew!
Got him! Hey, drop it!
Fucking disgusting.
Does it feel like snot?
Yeah. Oh, well, it's just your fat ass stomach and the... That's my child right there.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
I don't think I am. I don't think I want to be. Alright, cool. We're live. What? Something is up them because there's definitely audio on the stream. What about now? Hello? Yeah. Yep.
Is that Marius?
Definitely not me. Oh shit. Oh fuck, you're muted on the stream though. God damn it, my bad. Okay, alright. Sorry, you couldn't hear the fucking Google Hangouts. Because I'm a dumbass and I still haven't figured out how to do all this shit right. So, when people arrive, let me know you're here and let me know what platforms. Anyone played anything good? I'm forcing my wife to play through Resident Evil 2.
It's the best game I ever played in my life.
Oh, okay. And she says it's like Barbie Explorer, and that's why she fucking likes it.
My Barbie Explorer days.
So yeah, Resident Evil 2 apparently reminds her of her Barbie Explorer days.
Because you have to do all these challenges.
Oh, okay.
It's like a mystery.
That game is fantastic.
No, Barbie
like that
Detective.
remake. I was always a huge Resident Evil fan. What? What are you talking about? Fucking Barbie Detective?
Yeah, it was Barbie Detective, not Barbie Explorer. There's two different.
Oh my god! Excuse me, dude. It's fucking amazing. I don't know if anyone's kept up with the Resident Evil series. Like, it's kind of lost its way a good deal. The last one arguably kind of was getting better again.
No,
I don't really
Revelations
think.
was good.
Revelations. Yeah, I'm talking about the main series.
Oh.
Like, they dropped the survival horror, but okay, Resident Evil 4 was not survival horror, but the gameplay mechanics were really, really fucking good. So, you had, like, the beginning Resident Evils, which were way the fuck scarier, and then the other ones had more polished, accessible controls and mechanics, because the original ones played, like, fucking controlled like tanks. This one is the only time they have taken the fucking insanely badass gameplay aspects from like Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, and they've combined it with like the old school actually fucking scare the shit out of you zombies. And it's amazing. And I also realized there's other shit that the series lost. Like, I forgot how good the puzzles were in the police station and the mansion. You know, you have to like find the medallions and find like the spade and heart and fucking club key and shit. And I forgot that shit wasn't just like a pain in the ass. It was actually pretty good. Like, the puzzles were, you have to like examine objects and like pull out fucking rubies and like put them in eyes, and it's actually really good puzzles, I think.
Falco, I made you a ball sack.
It's not big enough. It's cute. They can't even see you. Hey, dude, you want attention?
I'm bored.
Okay, they can kind of see you now. Let's see, instead of doing deep learning homework, are you in grad school? You have deep learning homework? Let me move this shit, because I'm so sick of leading over here to read comments. That's pretty stupid of me. Here, now you guys can kind of see the comments too. Let's see. Yeah, 5 and 6. 5 was okay, just because of multiplayer. I thought that part was cool, but other than that, it really sucked ass. Yeah, we are kind of back to the classics. So it was cool, and dude at work got to work on it. There was like a big issue with the last boss fight or something. So I got to see it before it was...
Oh, you didn't work on it?
No, I didn't. I saw him. I got to... No, fuck no. I got myself taken off that team on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
I'll still have to work on shit like that every so often, but I was working on tool shit. Yeah, I dropped out of graduate school and I never went back, and I'm like 2 classes away from my master's, so I should probably really fucking do that someday, but I need to finish ES though. Oh, you're taking it a grad class as an undergrad? I did that once. They told me it was like the worst decision ever, but it was like the best class ever. They're like, oh, you'll have so much trouble keeping up with the grad students, and I didn't. It was really cool though. Graduate classes are so much better than undergrad classes. They're just like fundamentally different.
Well, not the 500 level ones. Because remember, I took a lot of them.
500 level's not really graduate school.
Yeah, it is. It counted for both.
Yeah, only because you did jump. If you were a graduate student, you could not take those.
Oh, yeah, they were.
So that's like a special half-ass version.
Oh, yeah, they were half-ass.
That's not technically a graduate course. No, you couldn't take that and get graduate credit.
No.
If you were just doing a master's already with the best.
Yeah, you could.
No, you couldn't. No, actually, you couldn't.
I think they dumbed it down after you.
Oh, god damn it. But yeah, so I've had a bunch of shit I had to do this week at work, so I haven't really gotten to work on ES much, so I'm kind of picking back up where I left off last week. I was working on a bunch of renderer shit. I pulled out a book because I was realizing in the middle of this renderer shit that the way I'm architecting this is kind of OpenGL biased. Like in the back of my mind for renderer shit, I always have to think like, how's this gonna... I have to do an abstraction, you know, so that our engine sits on top of libgyro. And the only API in libgyro that's not 100% ironed out is the video API and abstraction. So while you're working on that, you always have to be like, ooh, how's this going to translate to a fixed function pipeline like Dreamcast and now PSP and shit. But then I realized, like, okay, I had that represented, but then on the PC side, I was only really thinking about OpenGL. So I had to... It's been a while since I've looked at Vulkan. It's been a long-ass time, so I had to refresh my memory on how VBOs worked in Vulkan, or if it had a concept of vertex array buffer, VAOs, and how that worked. I wasn't sure how IBOs and draw arrays worked, and I wasn't sure how indirect drawing worked in Vulkan. But actually, that is the one thing, when you actually draw primitives in Vulkan, it's very close to OpenGL. Like, once you have all of the other fucking shit, which is nothing like OpenGL setup, the actual draw commands are pretty close. No, I did not finish graduate school. So, I kind of got fucked. I thought I had another semester left, and I didn't. So I'm one class over, or 1 or 2 classes over what I actually needed to graduate. But they required like a fucking math class and a series of 2, and I only took 1. So I accidentally took too many fucking classes and not enough math, so I got fucked. And then I moved and started a job at AMD, which I have so much shit to learn that I couldn't juggle ES, grad school, and AMD, because I did that before back home, and it turned me into a drug addict. And
you wanted to kill yourself.
And my wife would... No, I actually had a lot of fun because I was high on drugs, but... I don't do that anymore.
I didn't like
so I'm gonna be a dad. You didn't know me back then.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't know. This was like back during like the Kickstarter days.
Oh, I really actually dated you at the end of that.
All right, whatever. What the fuck ever. So yeah, there's that. So it sucks though, because a lot of what I'm doing right now is in the fucking notebook that you can't really see.
What happened with the scans?
Nothing. Dude's working on converting them right now, and they're not scans. It's actually better than that.
How'd you do it?
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. You're fucking out. What if he wasn't working on it, and you just brought that up in front of everyone that we were sucking at that? Whose side are you on?
Me?
Yeah, you're a fucking traitor.
That's like the easiest thing to output.
Yeah, I know. But I wanted to do it really well.
Oh yeah, because the first time it was really fucking shitty.
No, it just looks like shit, and there's so much more we could do with it. Hold on, where the fuck? Oh, here it is, Alec. Okay. Here, look, he's doing like extra shit though. Oh god, please tell me that this link is still live. Oh shit.
Looks good.
Oh fuck, I don't think it is. Okay, yeah, here it is. So he's like creating an actual PDF of the bitch.
I like the font type.
That is like reproducing. These are the actual images from my shit. But this is a real font.
That looks really nice.
This is a real font that looks the closest to my handwriting.
That's really nice. I thought it was just. I never saw.
I don't know. It's still parts of this looks like my handwriting. But you see, he has like the real notation there.
Wait, how did he turn this shit?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. That's literally my drawing. No, hell no. He's working his ass off on this. See, look, he has like all of my mistakes and everything still in there. He had some other shit. Oh yeah, this is a drawing directly from my shit. This is exactly from it. So like, yeah, he must be going through a lot of fucking work to do this. He even has like spelling errors that I made still in there. I don't know what he's doing, but it's probably a pain in the ass.
I'm impressed, dude.
Yeah.
I want to buy one of these.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
That looks really nice.
I'll buy it for myself. But I said I would pay him actually, so it's totally worth paying him for this. Oh yeah, here's my template sub-process shit I made forever ago. When I was first falling in love with templates. I still use that actually. That's pretty good. Fuck, he has a lot. I didn't read this far down. Fuck Lua coroutine approach. ES gamma. Oh yeah, 3D mechanics. Wow. This is when we started doing when we started using the 3D camera and realized like, oh dude, we can jump and like really the engine really like right here is when it transitioned from a 2D to a 3D engine. Like for good, physics, gravity. Here's some rigid body physics formulas and shit. More templates. Oh yeah, here's some AI shit. Waypoint sub-process. Oh yeah, here's shattering for the rigid body system. And shit like that. But yeah, anyway, I digress.
That looks good.
Oh my god, and I wasn't even sharing my screen, was I? Wait, no, I don't need to. That should have been up there.
It's fine, dude. It's only Hangouts where you can't see the screen on.
Oh, okay, cool. That's right. I forgot. Yeah, where are the VMU guys? Oh yeah, let me ask in chat. Where the fuck are the VMU boys that are always here? Oh shit, I forgot. I reached out to this VMU, like, prodigy who was, like, doing crazy fucking shit. Like, the guy who, Dude, templates are not terrible for you. Like, fuck that. I do crazy fucking badass shit with templates. They're ugly as fuck, but, like, what they do is totally worth the ugliness. But there was this VMU guy, hold on. Who fucking... He's the guy who, like, was all over the news for doing Pokemon Go on the VMU. So Nintendo got pissed off that he was doing Pokemon Go on a fucking VMU and shut him down, so that shit never saw the light of day. So I was trying to offer him my emulator and see, like, okay, maybe I can give you an easy way to swap out graphics or something like that, because he just got pissed off and dropped it. And he also made some other VMU games that are very technically impressive, you know, so I wanted to make him aware that Elysian VMU's out there and it has all kinds of debugging tools that for sure would make his life easier for someone like that, you know, and, like, see what he thought and what tools he wanted and shit in it. Because right now we have, like, one VMU god in our scene. So he would have been... We're trying to steal him. Recruit him to our evil ranks. Politics of game development.
See, the Nintendo vs. Sega wars are still going.
What?
Oh. Sega Dreamcast. That's probably why they don't like Pokemon Go on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right? They're threatened by a fucking Dreamcast VMU game?
Right.
Fucking pathetic, man. Like, really, Nintendo? And, like, the fucking emulation shit that Nintendo... So, 20 fucking years of my life, I remember hosting Super Nintendo ROMs on my own website. of being afraid that I was going to go to jail for it. 20 years, Nintendo doesn't give a shit about emulation. Like, I mean, this was during the time when the Game Boy Advance was out, and I was fucking emulating games that, you know, you have to pay for. I would still pay for them because I'm like a collector. But like, you know, they didn't give a fuck about it then, but all of a sudden, like, oh my god, the emulators. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking crazy. Terrible for your eyes, great for your soul. Oh yeah, templates can totally be a pain in the fucking ass. Have you ever thought about releasing a smaller game just for fun? Hell fucking no. Or a game jam? No, those are the biggest wastes of time ever. For someone who has like a big project to work on, that is how you never get anything done. It's just, oh yeah, that big thing I want to finish and do with my life, let me just like not do that and do some like little shit. No, I don't do that.
I will
shit.
say though, I agree mostly with that comment, Falco, but side projects can be very motivating if...
No, I mean, that's what I do for,
directly.
like, Elysian VMU. I always tie it into ES, but, like, I'm not just gonna go, or, like, a demo of ES. I don't just go and, like, create an entirely different game and, like, throw myself... Like, there's not enough left of me to give to another game. Like, there's just not. Like,
feeling.
I am so fucking emotionally invested in this game, like, my heart and soul and time, there's no fucking way that I could work on something else. Unless it was, like, tangentially relevant, like Elysian VMU or something. You are definitely an evil overlord with templates. Should have all the chat messages pop up. Okay, fine. See, it's kind of fucking... Can you guys... Okay. Problem is, I can do this, and they're all on Mob Crush, right? And check it out. You can see, like, oh, this dude's on YouTube. This dude's on Facebook. There's some Twitch people up here. Anyway, so you can see what platform they're on. I can't respond to you there, but whatever, I'll respond to you on video. But I don't think you can see at the low resolution what this shit says is the problem.
What you need is professional streamer mode like they do with Twitch, where you can show the chat in the stream.
That would be really cool. Yep. Because we had to lower the resolution on this bitch because it kept dropping, and magically it never drops anymore, but it looks a whole lot shittier. So I always have to increase text size, but okay. They have to defend their copyright patents, otherwise they lose it. That's not explaining to me why they failed to do that for the first 20 years.
I have a theory.
My question is, why are they only now doing this, not why are they doing it?
Well, why don't you consider that they're emulating their own shit now and selling it? On the Switch and on the Wii, you know, with all the retro emulation that Nintendo are trying to do. I think that's why they might be pushing a bit more for it now.
Right. Rise, are you even working just now? Not seeing you type anything or touch the mouse. Oh, well, excuse me, because I thought I was answering questions. I literally have my code up right fucking here because I've been working.
And we all know a programmer's work is old.
But, thank you for, oh yeah, I'm totally just completely douching my ass with, like, all this shit out right here.
That cat attacked me.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you don't have a big project, a game jam is fine. It makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? There's nothing to lose and only to gain if you don't have a big thing going, like ES, when you take place in a game jam. But I know plenty of people who are like me, have their own, like, projects like mine. Every one of us, or at least the ones who have made substantial progress and don't just, like, quit every time things get hard, we're, like, completely against just, like, oh, fuck this, I'm gonna work on a completely different style of game for a little while. We don't do game jams and shit because of that. I know it sounds like, oh, that's a boring life or whatever, but it fucking is, but it's what you gotta do.
But then at least you can, like you said, supplement it with things that do relate. That
Right.
are fun to do as well.
Right.
I don't think any other game would be able to make a VMU emulator and justify that.
Oh, we can. Well, I mean, that's part of what has been so great about ES, is I literally am in a position where I don't need that. You know what I mean? I can work in, and I have been able to work everything I've ever wanted into ES. And that's been part of the strength of, like, working on a game like this. Is it didn't start off like that, but it grew into that, so that I just become more and more invested and add more value to it when I have to, like, when I'm super interested. Like, EVMU was something I had to do for college. It was like some hardware shit for college, and I'm like, I want to work on something to deliver value to Elysian Shadows, you know? So I thought of a way, okay, this will do it, you know? Let's see.
Just got an interesting question from Facebook.
Falco, can you talk any time about the interview process in AMD? Did you interview, question, and whiteboard? Yeah, I did all that shit. It was pretty intense, actually.
It was 8 hours long.
It was like 8 hours long, interviewed by every member of the team I'm in, interviewed from like fucking everything from like hardware questions on my resume to like bunch of shit, lots of rendering questions, lots of weird like fucking parsing shit on a whiteboard. I don't fucking know. Lots of just, there was one about reversing a linked list, which was really fucking stupid, and I actually fucked that one up. There's a whole fuckload of stuff. Oh god, there was one that was someone gave, my boss's boss gave me a piece of paper like this, and it had some giant fucking texture and like some giant texture, and you were supposed to, it was already swizzled, and you were supposed to unswizzle it and re-swizzle it into a different texture format, and oh my god, on paper that thing was a fucking nightmare. Worked through the math to do that.
Never told me that.
So yeah, that one was a fucking, but I did that one right. What will you do if ES bombs critically, commercially, or both? Oh, hey Ratstail, what will I do? Nothing. I'm not in this for the fucking money. I will probably make ES not fucking suck and patch it to be better, or fix it in ES2 or whatever the fuck I want to go in. I'm assuming the answer you're looking for is like curl up like a bitch and cry, but no, won't do that.
At least people can't say it's not done anymore.
Stream looks good, no drops. Did you do anything new? No, actually, I thought we downed the quality, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. Must be Mob Crush. You are rather persistent, I have to say. I mean, most people would give up by now. Absolutely, they would. My dad tells me to give up because he's a bitch. People who give up don't achieve things in life. You know how many famous fucking people have been through like 10 times worse than me and never gave up on shit like this? It doesn't bother me at all. The less I am willing to give up, the more people hate me for it too, because it reminds them that they would give up. So let's see. I was working on. Do you guys want me to talk about what I was working on, or what I am working on, or what do you guys want to do? Because someone's bitching that I'm answering questions, but I'm assuming you guys want me to answer questions. Whatever, I'll just get the fuck to work on some shit. What was I doing? Oh yeah, mesh attributes. I already answered the Facebook question. It was our old friend Rat's Tail. The guy who like shit talks me every single day in every single social media place, says I'm like a piece of shit narcissist, and then wonders why I don't like him. He's a great guy.
He's probably autistic.
No, he's just a douchebag. No more games about taking poops? What the fuck?
That sounds like a fun game.
Hey man, there might be a market for that shit. Oh wait, shit, that's not right.
Asswipe Simulator 2019.
Teach people how to wipe properly. I asked the question to... Oh yeah, what is my opinion about Agile? Oh god, I'm not a fan of anything like that. Any methodology. Like... Agile is all about being agile, but it's still too fucking rigid. I don't like Scrum. I don't like Agile. They're the best of all of them, but like waking up every day and doing your little fucking stand-up is not always necessary. There are too many meetings. Like, process for the sake of process, I can't stand it. Like, I think the ideal thing is a looser style of Scrum that doesn't just have stand-up every fucking day, or meetings just to have meetings, which is literally the opposite of being agile, but has it when it makes sense.
The only thing I like from it is like the clean task boards and like just issue tracking.
Yeah, but you can have that without the bullshit processes of meetings. Like for my job.
Right, he says you can have that without meetings. Sorry, she can't hear. I'm wearing headphones.
Yeah, I mean for my job.
This daily stand-up is just ass douching, and I always make up
it
shit.
Is. I hate the stand-up. I do that every single weekday for work. because I'm a remote worker, and while sometimes it can be helpful, I just feel like half the time you're just repeating what's already on the task board anyway.
Yep. Oh, I worked on this shit. I'm about to work on this shit more today. Still not done with this shit. Every fucking... Dude, when I worked at Adtran, I was that guy. Like, I was the scrum master for 3 years.
Oh, I would kill myself.
I was the person like, okay, what did you do? Okay, what are you going to do today? Okay.
I had one job where they forced me to stand.
And then people fucking like want to talk their asses off, and you're just like, dude, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I want coffee. I want to sit down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I hate that shit.
Oh, wait, I need to say about the retrospective I had at
Retrospective?
Yeah, I had this weird-ass thing where they made us do a retrospective and write our feelings about the sprint on a whiteboard and say how we it felt like summer camp for elementary school kids, and we had to put post-it notes up about like what we think we could improve and all this stupid shit for our boss to look at.
Right. I need to figure this out ways that you can hear shit.
Why don't you just not wear the headphones?
Because it's you don't even understand how fucked up this setup is. Then I'd have to change everything.
I don't get it.
I know you don't get it, but just trust me, it's a pain in the ass.
Uh-oh.
Do you use SDL or other libraries to interface with the operating system? Yeah, it's complicated. So on PC, Windows, Mac, and Linux, if you're not running the toolkit, so you can build the engine as a widget within the toolkit or standalone. If you're building it standalone, we use SDL only for window management, input, and Rumble. If you're using Qt, the Qt backend, aka you're building it as part of the UI environment for the editor and it's just one widget, then we use Qt for window management. That makes sense.
Do you have any thoughts on GLFW?
I used it a long time. It's just not for me. I used it a long ass time ago, but I'm way more a fan of SDL. Isn't it also C++?
Most likely.
I don't like my low level APIs in C++. I really fucking do not.
Yeah, I mean, so I seem to like it a little bit. I think for my purposes anyway, I think SDL has way too many miscellaneous bits of crap that you probably aren't going to use. So that's my only issue with it. I wish you could modulate SDL.
SDL's pretty like what kind of stuff? It's pretty modular in that everything is. Well, I also okay. Never mind. I don't use SDL videos, so never mind. I don't really know that much. That's like a big ass piece of SDL, and I don't use SDL image or any of that shit. So, so yeah, I use SDL on those. Like obviously on something like the Dreamcast or iPhone, I'm not using SDL. Yeah, Christoph Poller, that's hilarious. Let's plan shit that isn't plannable. That's very highly accurate.
Oh, the estimations? Like, assign this random number of complexity. I don't fucking know. I just pull some shit out of my
How'd
ass.
you feel about your tasks? Don't want to pry, but is there any release estimate? No, I'm not estimating shit. That's the point of these streams, so that you can estimate, which I'm sure you can't because you're just watching me code. But anyway, no, I'm not letting people down again. I'm not committing to anything because it's too much out of my fucking control. Whether other people on the team are fucking working or whether it's just me sitting here alone working, like, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not taking a fall for something that's not in my control and having everyone hate me again. Fuck that. It'll be done when it's done. Are you using AFSM, a finite state machine? Yeah, in like dozens and dozens of places. It's not just one finite state machine mechanism. There's like, depending on the situation, like a whole crazy finite state machine class or architecture makes sense, or in several places, just a simple enumerated type in a switch statement makes more sense. It really depends on the circumstances. Will the engine be as easy to use as something like Unity? That's literally my main goal.
Better.
Is that, in all the things that I thought made Unity easy, that actually made sense, like the entity component system, the way behaviors are modeled, I've tried to mimic that or improve upon it. So it's, I want it to be like basically like Unity meets like a something like tiled or mappy or something. Unity style for like entities and shit, tiled for terrain and shit. How much would you need to be paid to use Java? Fucking for ES? Nothing. Nothing could ever like
No,
give me
a
$1 million,
job.
I wouldn't do it. Huh?
It's like a career.
As a job, I still wouldn't do it. I'd kill myself.
Well, I would make you do it for 200 grand.
What's the status of the music? Haven't heard anything about it in a while. That's because the music is so far ahead. We have a lot of shit already done, like way further than we have levels for. Right here. What?
Is that a turd?
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I don't think it is.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
It looks like a turd.
But so yeah, we basically have a lot more music done than we have level design, which is part of why we need a fucking level designer. Here,
Why is it
I'll
so
play
hard
you
to
something
find?
that. Oh my god, I don't fucking know. Well, no, it's because we're doing something that is not a standard way of creating levels that anyone has experience with.
Mm.
It's not enough to have used Unity or something like that. This is fundamentally different. Oh my god, okay, never mind. Oh my god, Adobe Premiere is fucked up. I can't play it because it's OGG format. Do you suffer from imposter syndrome?
I do.
I don't think it's imposter syndrome. I just always think I suck and I'm a worthless piece of shit, so...
That's the definition of imposter syndrome.
But I'm not worried that someone's gonna find out, oh my god, I actually suck. Like, I'm the first person to say I fucking suck, so...
Yeah, but
it's not really imposter syndrome.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Ah, well, hello.
What's up?
Is that
Nothing.
Marcel?
I just,
This dude's being a twat. Which dude? What's up?
where the fuck did my window go?
Oh, which OS do you prefer? I'm on a Mac. I prefer Mac because I like the power of Linux, like in a Linux terminal, you know? It's got a lot of power, the whole POSIX environment. But I also like the windowed environment of Windows, and it's pretty much the best middle ground that you can find.
But you don't like the new Mac laptops because they don't have USB ports or any ports, and you have to buy a bunch of shit.
Oh,
put
well,
into
thank you
this
for telling me what the fuck I do and don't like. But she's right. She happens to be right. She got lucky.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I'd stay away from the new ones.
It sucks because I love my MacBook Pro.
Yeah,
USB-C, right?
I love my USB-C, and I love Thunderbolt 3. But there's too many problems with the actual hardware, and Apple's solution is just to keep either repairing it, keep throwing new laptops up.
Wow, the old ones were pretty good in terms of durability.
Yeah, the old ones are awesome, but these new ones, like, I leave it in a bag, in a case, and it seems like every other day I've got issues with, like, keys sticking or whatever.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's why I was getting sent a new one, which I'm still waiting on.
They're too expensive.
What is your greatest... What's up?
It's all good, dude. Read the question.
Oh.
It's more important than us.
What's your greatest accomplishment in ES Engine? What are your proudest pieces of code? Probably my greatest accomplishment is the real-time Lua editing shit for our selection view. Being able to, we have basically like a full 100% like reflective real-time Lua debugger, and we can dynamically execute Lua code and modify Lua code at runtime and objects and shit, and serialize things as Lua LSON format, and it's pretty fucking sweet. The physics engine is definitely one of the most impressive pieces, and then
What about the lighting?
the lighting would be impressive. It's impressive from a technical perspective, but the code is... I'm not impressed with how the code is aged, which is kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
What do you mean?
I mean it. Like, fucking my code looks like shit. Because I didn't know as much as I know now, so, like, you know. So I'm not very happy with it.
Oh.
Now that I mean, I didn't know as much about computer graphics or rendering as I now know.
Oh, I see.
So I did things differently based on what I knew at the time
So you're
that I
are you gonna
would have.
refactor the whole thing?
Do what?
Are you gonna refactor the whole thing?
I mean, but that's not as big of a deal as you think. Like, I'm not rendering like 20 million files, you know?
How many files?
Like 4 or 5?
That's
Like,
not bad.
that doesn't mean anything.
Cool.
When you build a project, what gets built as a DLL and what doesn't? Basically, nothing's a DLL right now. It's all statically linked, but probably in the future that'll change. I'm not sure if I want to release it. Probably I will make it dynamically linked because libgyro. So right now, libgyro kinetic, Lua 5.2, and I think Spine are statically linked libraries. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your project size?
Elysian VM. What do you mean my project size?
Like, of the game.
What is your project size of the game? What the
You
fuck
know
does
what I
that mean?
mean.
No, I seriously don't. What the fuck does that mean?
Like, if you put it on GitHub or something.
Oh, file size? I thought like
Yeah.
lines of code. Like, how the fuck would I know what you're
File
talking about?
size.
Oh, uh, let's see, 306.4 megs right now.
What?
I see. How the fuck is this not found? Oh, fuck, I made it CRTP'd. God damn it.
Mike, you're Axiom in Discord, right?
Yes.
Sweet.
Oh, this post that I put in memes and spam. This is the main reason why. I mean, I used to really like MacBooks for the hardware. I've never really been a fan of the software, but when they started removing Ethernet ports, that's when I really started not taking them so seriously anymore. And I'm glad I didn't, based on what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, when I bought my MacBook, it was at the time the newest one, and I didn't pay for it because it was a graduation present. So I went with that one and decided that I could live with USB-C and everything, but the inherent problems that I'm getting as a result are not. Yeah, it's mostly as a result of the new keyboard too. That's where most of the problems are. But before that, I had speaker issues. One of my speakers just randomly started being muffled for no reason, and they almost didn't fix it for me. But then I told them, listen, everything on this laptop, like the top case was just replaced a year ago, so I should not be having these problems. And that's when they decided they'd fix it for me. Replaced every single part in the laptop, top case, bottom case, display assembly, everything pretty much, like a whole new laptop. And then when the keyboard started fucking up again, I called them and I was like, hey, listen, this is fucked. And their solution was to send me a brand new one of a newer year, and I don't think that's going to fix anything. So I think I'm going to sell this laptop, and I don't know what I'm going to buy, honestly.
All right. I gotta take another question. Can you explain the memory model around Jai texture? Is there a reason it's a raw pointer? Yes. So for pretty much the entirety of the engine, I mean, I could have a mesh that uses the same diffuse map as another mesh, that uses the same normal map, that uses the same emissive map. So these are shared. They're not really owned by mesh attributes. Maybe at one point in time, I'm dynamically generating the normal map in a compute shader for waves in water, and then so I'm writing to it from a compute shader, and then I'm reading from it here in a mesh attribute. So it's not really owned like that, and a shared pointer really doesn't model the way it's owned either. I do implicit reference counting in C with this. This is actually a C structure from libgyro. And basically, it's just reference counted. But libgyro lets you, if I allocate two of the same type of texture, it's not really going to happen. It's going to transparently return a pointer that is the same thing that's already been allocated, you know? So from a high level, if you're in C++, I guess I see what you're asking. So if you wanted to do what I'm doing, I guess you could use standard shared pointer. You know, that would kind of be the functional equivalent in C++. But this code base is a little more complicated than that because it's fundamentally the renderer not the renderer, but the low-level video API is written in C, and then C++ encapsulates it and stuff like that. So in effect, I'm doing a shared pointer just in C. So yeah, it is shared memory. Anytime if I called, you don't. So it's shared memory, and you don't have to really be aware of the fact that it's shared memory. So like because if you had to do extra work to say like, okay, I have two Goombas and they share the same texture, then it wouldn't be as easy as, oh, I can just drag and drop this texture, So basically every time you do like Jai texture,
What's a Goomba?
Texture, don't fucking worry about it. I can't believe you just asked that. Every time I do this, if that's not there, then it's returning that. But if I do this again, it's returning a shared reference. Or it's returning, these will now be equal to each other. They will point to the same thing. So in effect, yes, that's a shared pointer. It's handled at the lower level in C, and it's completely transparent. I didn't want the higher level and people who use libgyro to have to give a shit about that. I want it to be handled at the lower level. Do you ever wish you'd written... Dude, Rat's Tail, fuck off, dude. I'm not going to sit here and, jerk you off and answer stupid questions. I've answered this question, 20 times. You got your attention, fuck off. Do I wish I'd written ES and Unity? No, I would rather cut my own dick off than do that. You have, some fucking issues, dude. Go fuck yourself.
He's still going with that? Is this the same dude that's been going for, weeks now?
My bad. Yeah, same dude.
Wow.
No fucking life. I really have to piss. I'll be right back. Dude, my wife is laughing at you, dude. Seriously, get your shit together. Don't you have a fucking game to work on yourself instead of being a cunt to me about my own?
Oh, he's released it. That's it. It's done now.
So you're just gonna sit around and be a bitch to me? You're the one with issues. Oh no.
Why does he watch you?
Dude, that's what I want to fucking know.
He's probably jerking off to you.
God damn. It's fucking annoying. I gotta pee real quick.
Probably Marcel.
So how's the PSP build going? Is there any progress there, or?
This is the first time I've had to sit and work on it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know that feeling, man. I barely made any progress on the web one either. I mean, It works, at least it works. But,
that's the same thing I could say about this right now. It works and renders stuff to the screen. Now I'm trying to do extras like texture rendering and a few other things so I can pretty it up and release an actual build.
Yeah, it doesn't help that I've got my work every weekday.
Yeah,
and I've got my own game I'm working on.
That's the big thing for me is work.
Yep, been a busy year so far.
So,
kind of sucks, but hopefully it'll get a bit better soon.
Definitely. Strange that Studio Code's doing that.
Alright, that's better. Did I miss anything? You can see the stream and Mob Crush if you want to see the entire chat. Yeah, that's true. The only problem is you can't fucking respond to chat there. But yeah, it does. What do you think of Windows 10? I hate it passionately on multiple occasions. It has ruined my day. Yeah, me too. Windows 10 is, well, actually 8 is when I loved Windows 7. It was my favorite OS. But when 8 came out and then 10...
Is it the tablet UI start?
Yeah, that's
I hate that.
That's when I swapped to Mac OS as my main OS because I just, I got sick of it. I was I'm not following fucking Windows anymore after that shit.
I never bothered to install Windows 8. But I got Windows 10, I used it for a while, and I did enjoy it, sort of, but there's so many issues with it. that I just couldn't use Windows anymore. They just ruined it.
See, I've just had so many issues with Windows in general, and 10 really exacerbated a lot of it.
XP was perfect.
Even with,
I thought 7 was pretty good.
I love 7. Vista was horrible, but 7
I have
7
Vista
was
still
stable
on my,
for so many
my
years.
Oh yeah, your laptop has
my
Vista.
college laptop.
Oh, wow. Put XP on that thing.
yes.
Yeah, that would be better actually.
Wait,
Although
how come you
Microsoft
don't
don't officially support
Linux
it.
and just use Ubuntu or something?
What, Lauren?
How come you don't like Linux and why can't you just use a front end like Ubuntu or something?
Because I don't like it as much as Mac's front end. It's less stable.
Oh,
Push.
no.
Less stable and
I
less
did-
app support.
I do
You know?
use, yeah, exactly. I do use Mac with like Ubuntu backend. I just SSH. There's literally an Ubuntu server right down there, and I just SSH into it
Oh,
from
yeah,
my
that's
fucking
true.
Mac, like, so I get the best of both
If
worlds.
I need like a nice cheap laptop, because I don't have my own. I just use my work laptop.
Right.
Oh, she doesn't like Mac OS, does she? I was gonna say get like a 2012 13-inch MacBook Pro, and those are still awesome.
Expensive or poor.
Not the 2012 ones you could probably get for under 5.
Oh shit.
Under 500, yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
I have good hearing.
Like, yeah, I mean, Macs hold their value pretty well, but even looking at my 2016 now, I'm seeing it online some places for $1,500, $1,400, and I paid originally $28 for that.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know what the fuck to call this shit. Yeah. I'm not sure what the fuck to call this actually. Fuck it. Oh fuck, I don't even have the right thing pulled up either. What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Playing with the cat?
Okay.
Because he's bored, and I'm bored too, and that coffee he gave me had 22 grams of sugar or whatever, and I feel really hyper.
This sounds like a personal problem.
You gave it to me?
You're the one who loves sugar.
Oh, I didn't know.
Do you have a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino or anything? Why, yes. Yes, I do.
What about the ones you stole from school?
I don't think I can hold all my embedded shit.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, I turned one into a VMU. I love embedded shit. I made eVMU right now. If you run it on like a Raspberry Pi or BeagleBone, you can actually tell eVMU which GPIO pins are wired, and then you can connect it to fucking wire it into here, and you can actually do transfers between a physical and virtual VMU and shit. It's actually pretty cool.
Wait, do you have an FPGA board?
Yeah, I have an FPGA board too. Where is it? That's this. That's this really badass one's an FPGA board.
Oh, it's so small, I forgot it was.
Yep, it's really cool. Yeah, dude, that's why I'm a computer engineer. I love embedded systems and embedded platforms. I was going to be working on an auto-tune FPGA in grad school before I dropped out and moved. Yeah, for my master's PhD. For advanced embedded systems, there was going to be an FPGA that you just plug in, like, in between, like, a mic input and output. And basically it would auto-tune your voice as it goes through.
It can make me actually sing good.
Yeah, I also do build. Yeah, I guess I can mention that. I forget how much random shit I do with these things. So which one was it? Okay, this one I have it unplugged right now, but this one is a remote build slave for the build system that handles the Dreamcast build, and I haven't set it back up since I've been here, but I took apart a Dreamcast and wired it into this thing. So when this thing detects a new build or a new push from Git, it actually can power on the Dreamcast and then send the build over the network, and then the Dreamcast can report unit tests by its monitoring over TCP for standard output and standard error, and then this reports back to the build server like, oh, the Dreamcast failed these tests, whatever, and then it powers it down. So it's like a remote Dreamcast build slave. Yeah, I mean, a little Git display is cool. They're really cool as build slaves. If you use like Jenkins or some kind of build server, you could have one do something. If someone breaks the build, you could have it fucking set off an alarm or something. You can do anything like that. They interop really easily as Jenkins build slaves if you use Jenkins. It's pretty cool. How do you manage all of your unit tests? Yes, I use Qt's unit tests. So first of all, I don't unit test as much as I should. I don't believe in unit testing as much as
Integration.
most people. I do a lot of integration testing. I should have better unit test coverage than I have, but right here, this is the unit test sub-project. So these are all the things that are unit tests, and so it's generally, if I do something like that's like standalone, like I don't know, Lua variant or something, that's just like a primitive data type or like a container or something, those really make sense to be unit tested to all fucking isolation, because it's standalone. But if I have to mock something, I just make it an integration testing and just test both ends, because that's not fucking worth it.
Everything ends up, or the majority ends up having to be mocked out.
So yeah, fuck that. Then you're not really getting much value out of it. So for example, like the entity component system, that is so fucking hard to unit test. That's not worth it. I integration test that. I don't have as many tests as I should for there either, but I think a lot of game development does not really lend itself necessarily to unit tests as much as integration, functional testing, shit like that. Yeah, some of these are fucking empty files. Like, I should really test this shit. But so what I do is, when you build a toolkit, every build of the toolkit actually has all the unit tests built in. And if you run the toolkit from the command line, you can give it a command line argument, --tests, and you can tell it which test to run. So the build server, when I do unit testings, is just running the exact same build that everyone else is getting, So it's running it from the command line and doing tests. So if there's like an issue on someone's computer, like this isn't working, I can, with their same build, they can run the test from the command line and see like, oh yeah, something's fucked up. You know what I mean? So I actually keep the tests tightly coupled, and it's in the release builds right now for that reason. It doesn't really add much. I mean, it's in the toolkit. In the engine, it probably won't be there. But as far as the toolkit goes, it's been beneficial to leave the unit tests in builds like that. If that makes sense. Damn, I'm fucking starving.
Me too.
We can go in a few, but hold on. These people are here for a reason, Lauren. We can't just abandon them. That's fucked up. They didn't abandon us. Where can I find a link to join your Discord server? Fuck. Fucking. Oh. God damn it, of course it's hidden, right? Can you even see this? If you can see that, that's it. Game dev unit tests are more difficult, sheer amount of different outcomes. Yeah, and I don't know, the way I architect things in game development, a lot of the time it does not make sense for every object to be its own standalone black box. A lot of what makes proper object-oriented design, like does not make sense in game development. Like, there's overhead associated with that level of abstraction and shit. There are things that are like, a physics engine is fundamentally fucking reliant upon a collision engine. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna go through hell to create this little abstraction there just in case, like, for some reason I want to use physics without collision, because that's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? In scenarios like that, like, too much object orientation doesn't even make sense. You're paying a price and you're not getting anything, you know? So it really depends. Did the player movement get fixed? That is a good fucking question. Hold on, let me check. Oh fuck, I can't build right now. It's supposed to have, but I'm not sure. And he's not in the live stream, so I'm not sure. I have a whole bunch of shit that is on my agenda for this week, so next weekend I'm going to have a bunch of shit to show off. Like all kinds of shit for the renderer and the new stuff. I want to get that all done this week, is my plan. And then, if there's still problems with that, we're going to have a fucking problem. So this week will be like all rendery kind of shit. Shit like that, a bunch of compute shit. And then next week we'll be back to gameplay. Yeah, that's really why I insist on using C and C++ and use C at the lower level. You know, like, I think there's a lot of value in, you know, being able to roll with the high level people, like the fucking desktop Qt, like, variadic templating, fucking high level STL using C++ people on one hand, but also be able to, like, at the lowest fucking level, like, be doing embedded C and drivers and inline assembly. You know, I feel like too many people don't have that kind of, like, broad spectrum skill base, and it's kind of becoming more obsolete. Like, fewer and fewer C++ guys can handle C anymore, is something that you realize. But game development in particular is so complex and requires that level of, like, low level knowledge that usually you'll find game developers disproportionately are good at low level shit. It's just like a side effect of the complexity of the field. So yeah, we tend to be pretty good at that shit. I like Unity flavored C#, very little bullshit. I definitely disagree with it being very little bullshit. There has to be a lot more bullshit, or otherwise it wouldn't be doing as much stuff for you under the hood. So the purpose of this shit is, this is supposed to represent the uniform. This is supposed to represent basically the pipeline state. This is what I'm batching geometry by their blend mode and their textures, you know, to reduce state changes and pipeline changes in like a Vulkan renderer or anything, you know, so that I can increase the size of my vertex batches. A mesh is basically the lowest level primitive for what can be rendered in the engine. It's just a collection of vertices that can have attributes, which also are not owned by the mesh. Neither are necessarily, well, these technically will be owned by the mesh, but and then renderer is the thing that actually interacts with the libgyro video API. That will have a function like that has like render triangle strip, you know, and then you give it the actual world vertices and shit. So this is not aware of any transformation or anything. At this level, it only knows that it has vertices ready to draw. Instance mesh is where you're giving it a transform to transform it by, and local vertices, you know, so if it's like a fucking, if it's like a 3D model or if it's like a sprite or whatever, those are the verts that get transformed by this bitch to create this bitch. And at another level, I have to create a sprite, basically like a sprite mesh, because on the Dreamcast and on a bunch of devices, usually you render sprites as quads or 6 triangles or whatever. You measure them as 2 triangles, or 6 verts, I mean, 3 verts each, 2 triangles that are just like put together as a strip or something like that. That's actually a lot less efficient. Platforms like the Dreamcast have specific hardware primitive types for hardware-driven sprites, where it only takes like 2 vertices, right? So you can pack a lot more data in, It reduces the bandwidth required to send from the CPU to the GPU, and you get a lot more bandwidth out of it. So in the engine, I actually need to honor internally in the abstraction that difference between sprites, internal vertices, and a generic meshes. Because if I don't, then basically I'm treating a sprite like a mesh on Dreamcast, which is fine, but you're paying a pretty big performance hit for something like that. And imagine something like a sprite, or no, like a particle emitter where you have a fucking ass load of particles. They're all clustered together that could all be batched together because they're using the same kind of pipeline states or the exact same mesh attributes for every single sprite here. That could give you substantial performance gain if you use the optimized vertex format on the Dreamcast for hardware sprites.
How the fuck do you know all this stuff?
Lifetime of working.
Like, is there any one college class where you would say the has one that actually has a big chunk of stuff?
Fuck no. Hell no.
It just makes me want to give up online.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm that inspirational to you.
Because
You're not using braces for default initialization. I'm surprised. Where are you seeing that at? I mean, in C, I use the shit out of that notation. In C, where are you seeing that at? In C, well, the problem is this code base spans way before C++ 11. You know what I mean? So I have some initialization that's new to C++ 11. So I do have some initialization that just uses the parentheses notation. You know, I do try to favor that nowadays, but some of this code base was around before C++ 11. You can really tell because I'm a huge fan of C++ 11.
So beautiful.
And I go to town with C++ 11, 14. I can't use 17 yet because it's not on fucking Mac, not on Xcode. But so you can really tell the age of a particular location in the code base based on how C++ 11y it looks.
They're so OCD. It's beautiful.
Did you try installing C++ 17 from Brew? Do you know what Brew is?
Yeah, but I can't just leave the entire Xcode environment because all the tools are integrated with it. I need it to build for. I need it to build for fucking iPhone and a bunch of shit. Qt Creator uses it internally, so I'd have to go through a bunch of shit to do that, and I'm just too lazy. So I'm just waiting for Clang to get the fuck off its lazy ass and support C++ 17. If I really wanted to, yeah, I could go through all this extra shit and set that up, but it's just not worth it. So right now, this is all assuming this is all C++ 14 right now. Which sucks, because there are some things in 17, like structured bindings. Like, holy shit, that would be so beautiful in Lua. Structured bindings lets you emulate multiple return types in C++ with tuples. So you can emulate. Lua supports multiple return types, so imagine you're proxying some sort of multiple return Lua function using standard bindings in C++ 17. The way I have it set up, you can already call into Lua seamlessly from C++ and have it automatically type deduce everything in one line of code. If you do that, then you basically have almost like seamless native Lua support, or native support for all of what Lua does, including multiple return types from C++. So structured bindings was one of the main things I was excited for. Because I don't have $10,000 fucking dollars.
Oh, I didn't know it cost.
Pay to play.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, and PlaySpec. It's pretty cool. There's some shit in C++ 11 I'm not fully caught up on because I can't use it. So what happens is I'll kind of glance at it, oh, okay, this is new. When I get access to it, I go to fucking town. That's when I get like an encyclopedic level of understanding of those aspects of the language. But right now, since I haven't been able to use C++ 17, my knowledge of 14, is like pristine. My knowledge of 17 is pretty shitty. Is it inappropriate to ask what Marcus is up to these days? No, why would that be inappropriate? Do you think C++ is showing its age? I do. No, I don't. I think you're showing your age. You're 12.
You didn't answer the question. You just said that would be inappropriate. Or that would be
No, sorry. I like my train of thought. So, Marcus is... I just want to answer that real quick before I went off on a tangent. Marcus is, he works at Walgreens or CVS? He lives in my old house. We gave him the old dev studio, which is pretty cool.
He rents it from us.
Yeah, he rents it from us.
And he works at
Walgreens or CVS or something. I don't know. But he just paid rent today, so things must be going pretty well. Do you have a compelling reason to allow passing by reference to functions versus passing by pointer? A lot of style guides ban passing by non-const ref from the call site. You cannot tell if B will be mutated or not. I actually tend to... I didn't initially do it like this when I started the code base. I tend to pass by reference when it's not mutated and pass by pointer, pass with the address symbol when it is mutated, but a third of the code base is written without that decision made, you know, so I need to go back and fix that. But I do like that only because it allows you to, okay, I'm passing the address. This is, you know, this is non-const, this is being mutated, or I'm returning a pointer, you know what I mean? I can mutate this. That's the aspect I like. I mean, I don't think that's a super compelling reason. I mean, I was fine for years without doing that. And a lot of that kind of stylistic shit is kind of bullshit in my opinion. But this one happens to be like, okay, I can see the merit in it. Allow passing by reference to functions versus passing. Right, yeah. I'm not super anal about that, but I do actually think that's better to pass by pointer if you are mutating. Whatever happens to that one dev team that didn't believe your name was Falco? I have no idea what happened to them.
I don't remember that.
Oh, it was J-Force, J-Fail Games.
Would they say your name's not Falco?
Yeah, I have no idea what happened to them.
They told you that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyone know if structured bindings work with unions or variants? Pass by pointer if null pointer is possible. Lazy man's optional T.
What the fuck does that mean?
Fuck, man. Optional is actually C++ 17 too.
You have
so
optionals in C++?
So I'm not fully, no, they will. Well, actually they do now, but only yeah, they're taking a lot of shit from higher level languages.
That's weird.
So is C++ showing its age? No, it keeps taking all the best shit of the higher level languages and leaving all the dumb shit.
Oh.
It's definitely not showing its age. Anyone know if structured bindings work with unions or variants? I'm trying to think if why it would or wouldn't work. Yeah, I'm trying to... I mean, the problem is that, like, in order to do that, you have to have C++ 17 to fake optional like that, but then you would have optional. You know what I'm saying? I already talked about when the game's going to be released. I don't want to give a hard date because there's so much shit up in the air. Because, like, you know, right now I have no idea if my team has been working. I don't know what the fuck they're doing right now. They know when this live stream is. They're not here. I'm not the only one working on this game. I cannot say for sure when everything's going to be done. And especially when I'm going to have a kid. I don't know. So instead of pissing everyone off and letting people down, I'm doing live streams so you can see shit happening.
What are you going to do if our kid hates programming and hates everything to do with...
Fucking abort it?
No, it's already going to be... You can't abort a kid.
Yes. Oh, fuck yeah, you can. Look at California.
Even if he's like a teenager.
Abort it.
Okay.
Send it to live with Marcel.
A fate worse than death.
What'd he say?
A fate worse than death.
Fuck. Does Marcel ever show up in here?
He did once and then he left.
I don't want our kid to ever meet him.
Sorry, I just want to finish this real quick. I gotta get dinner after this. Next week, my ADHD medication gets refilled, and I'm going to have so much fucking shit done for this renderer because I gotta get back to gameplay. But it all is being done with the understanding that eventually this is all gonna swap to Vulkan, which is pretty cool. do that. That's a fucking...
Could you create a tornado with your physics engine?
If you're planning on
Yeah,
swapping
totally. What?
Falco, if you're planning on swapping to Vulkan,
Nah, I'd support both.
yeah, I'm gonna say you're going to
That
keep
would be
the
dumb.
Agile backend.
Yeah, the OpenGL, OpenCL backend. Yeah, I'm totally gonna keep it. Why did you swear so much in the code base? That can't be healthy for it. Fuck off.
Why do people? I think it's funny. Why would they care?
People have sticks up their asses. Welcome to the internet.
I feel awkward around people that don't call us ever.
I think the funniest thing with that the libgyro leak though is the fact that the first major change to it was renaming the readme from readme now bitch to just
Yeah, I know. It's fucking hilarious. They stole my work, but then they changed readme now bitch to readme as though like, oh yeah, I did such a
Why
favor.
would that offend people? I don't understand.
I don't either. People are fucking crazy on the internet.
I used to have GitHub bots that would come on my repositories and try and make change requests to remove swearing.
Are you
That is
serious?
disgusting, dude.
Yeah.
That is fucking sick.
That is so
The only
bizarre.
comment I left was "fuck off" and I closed it.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Someone asked how I met you, Lauren. From Elysian Shadows, actually. After the Kickstarter, I had a giant Kickstarter party at my house, just inviting everyone, and a bunch of people from school, from college showed up that I hadn't seen in like fucking forever. They all showed up, and Lauren came there, except she was with another fucking guy, which was pretty big fucking red flag, but I thought she was really hot, so... What? I asked, are you guys like dating? It was an awesome party, by the way. After the Kickstarter, like, oh my god, people were so drunk and like
Your mom was
lots
at
of
that
pills
party.
and like I don't even fucking. You wouldn't think a bunch of game developers would party like that, but we did. So yeah, Lauren's like, oh my god, no, I'm not dating him. Oh my god, and I'm like, oh well, sorry. I mean, you fucking came to a party with hanging out another dude. I just figured you were. So anyway, I found out that she was single, but then I asked someone else, and they're like, she has a boyfriend. And then after she left, because I wanted to know her name so I could stalk her on Facebook, I'm like, what's her name? Like, oh, dude, she has a boyfriend. But I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't care. I asked what her name was. So I went to go stalk her on Facebook, and it turns out she didn't have a boyfriend. So...
You slid in?
So I invited her over, and then after that night, she never left, ever. And then she got pregnant, and now she's never going to leave.
I've been married to you for 2 years, and then I got pregnant, asshole.
She'll never fucking leave.
What a love story. I love it.
No, not really. Someone asked another question. Thanks, Christoph Poller. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. People like you are honestly the only reason I still do these live streams. So, but the internet gets fucking crazier and crazier every day. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god. Like you guys see the shit about the fucking, like, apparently now telling journalists to fucking learn how to code is a hate crime on Twitter? Like, just fucking kill me. What the fuck is wrong with this world? So I see that shit and I'm like, oh my god, I don't fucking want to be on the internet anymore. But you guys are cool, so I come here. Jesus, what a slut. Only 2 years after marriage getting pregnant? That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Alright guys, we're gonna go eat. Next week, seriously, I have like a fucking assload of work to do this week. My Vyvanse refill is on Monday, and I have like some really fucking badass shit to show off after this stuff. The render will be redone, and I want to be able to show like every fucking. I want what I'm fucking telling everyone in private dev. So fucking look right here. This is our private development chat. If this shit does not happen, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm like, dude, we need this shit for the forest. Look at this shit, dude. So for the forest, I'm like, all right, your normal maps are fucked up right now. Fix that shit. I want, when it fades into night with the day-night system, I want some kind of foliage that that we give like an emissive property so that it glows, and then I can also make it.
That's cool.
So I can also make it a point light with the dynamic lighting engine internally, and then like relative to how dark it gets, like it gets brighter and brighter so that it can like gracefully transition from day to night. So I gave him all this fucking work to do this week and all this shit that needs to be fixed, and hopefully that will be done next weekend because I want to be able to show, okay, this is the art 100% done with all the new rendering shit instead of this is just all the new rendering shit, but the art is not completely done and it looks fucked and it makes it look like my work is fucked because that pisses me off.
You could just make one little pixel and it look like a firefly if you had the glow.
Yes, that's exactly what you could do.
That's really
A firefly could literally be like a 1x1 untextured quad that's just like bloomed. Like
that would look awesome.
Like, oh, and you could vary within the engine like the material property, like the extent of the bloom, which would affect its radius, which would like 1 pixel firefly.
That would be so simple.
That'd be the easiest shit ever. I know, right? So fucking do it.
It would make a difference.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Anyway, thanks for coming, guys. I'm gonna head out and go eat.
Peace out, man. Nice
All
shirt,
right.
by the way. I just saw it.
Oh yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Yep, I love David Bowie. So yeah, think of any questions you have next week. Oh yeah, we have been working on, I forgot, the new video series that I'm supposed to be doing. We have been working on, Brandon worked on an intro for it. Where the fuck is it? So now I have to record it. Check it out, it's pretty cool. Can you guys see this?
I thought that said get fucked.
Yeah, it says get fucked.
No, it says get educated.
There we go.
That's cute.
Fucking, it's not fucking cute.
I like it.
Like,
Yeah, that
god
was
damn, like
cute.
some bitch intro.
Now you'll see if you get copyright claimed from it.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm thinking too. Like the first fucking day, like, oh,
It's adorable.
copyright infringement. Alright, anyway, I'll let you guys go. If you're tuning in at the end, by the way, in case you didn't know, this shit all winds up uploaded to YouTube. And I will be putting it into a playlist that is all of the live streams. And it should be in there by date also, hopefully. Alright, anyway, see you guys. See you next week.
Peace out.